Good morning and Sairam. In previous video we have done part 4 of Is Matter Around Us Pure, that means solution, suspension and colloidal. This is the part 5th of Is Matter Around Us Pure. The topics which we are going to cover are concentration of solution, saturated unsaturated solution, effect of cooling and heating on saturated solution, solubility, physical and chemical change. What topics we are going to cover? We are going to cover 5 topics. Number 1, concentration of solution. Number 2, saturated and unsaturated solution. Number 3, effects of cooling and heating on saturated solution. And number 4, solubility. And number 5, physical and chemical change. Clear? So, let us start with the concentration of a solution. Now, if you are preparing solution, clear, it is not compulsory that in all type of solution you are taking same amount of solute. If you are preparing different type of solution, in all the solution you will take different amount of solute. So that's why all the solution are different concentration. So by this we are able to explain what do you mean by concentration of solution. So the concentration of a solution is the amount of solute present in a given quantity of the solution. Clear? What do you mean by concentration of a solution? The concentration of a solution is the amount of solute present a given quantity of the solution. Clear? For example, if you are preparing two type of solution, in first you are taking 10 gram as a solute and in second you are taking 20 gram as a solute. Clear? So both are having different amount of solute, so the concentration of both solution will be different. See this picture. This picture is having two solution. Clear? In first solution, what are you able to see? Tell me fast. What are you able to see? You are able to see that in first solution, the amount of solute present is very less. And the second solution, the amount of solute is present in very large amount. So the first solution is called as dilute solution. First solution is called as your dilute solution, and second solution is called as your what? Yes, concentrated solution. Is known as your concentrated solution. So with this we can say that if amount of solute is present is a very less amount, in that case that solution is known as your dilute solution. In that case your solution is known as your dilute solution. And if a solute is present in a very large amount, in that case your solution is known as your concentrated solution. Clear? Now see the second picture. Are you able to see any difference? See and tell me fast. Yes. What is the difference? The color is different. What is the different? The color is different. Why both the solution have difference in color? And yes, both are made up of same things. KMnO4 and water. Yes, in first solution the amount of solute are present in less amount, and that's why the color is lighter. And in second case the amount of solute present in a large amount. If the amount of solute is present in a large amount, then that is your concentrated solution, and that's why the color is darker. Clear? So first one is your dilute solution and second one is your concentrated solution. First one is your dilute solution and second one is your what? Yes, concentrated solution. See, take one daily example. If you will take 2 glasses of water, in one you will add 1 spoon of sugar, and second glass you will add 3 spoon of sugar. Which one is more sweetest? Yes, second one. Why? Because the amount of solute present in that solution is more as compared to first one. So second one is your concentrated solution of sugar. Clear? And first one is your dilute solution of sugar. Clear? Shall we go ahead? Now, you can express the concentration of a solution in different ways, but the most common method which we are using is percentage method. Which one is the most common used method? It is your concentration method. It is your percentage method. Now, the percentage method of expressing concentration of a solution refers to the percentage of solute present in the solution. What do you mean by percentage method of expressing? What will this express? It will express the amount of solute. It will express the amount of solute present in solution. Present in solution. Present in solution. Clear? So now the percentage of solution can be expressed in the form of mass and in the form of volume. If your solute is solid, then it can be expressed in the form of what? Yes, in the form of mass. And if your solute is liquid, in that case it will express in the form of liquid. It will in the form of volume. Clear? So with this we can write, if the solution is of solid state dissolved in a liquid, then we consider the mass percentage of solute in calculating the concentration of solution. We will take mass. So, in the case of solid solute dissolved in a liquid solvent, the concentration of a solution is defined as the mass of solute in grams present in 100 grams of solution. That means 100 grams of solution में जितना भी आपका solute present है, that is known as your mass of concentration of solution. Clear? Let us use some numerical. For example, 10% of solution of common salt means 10% of solution of common salt means 10 gram of solute present in 100 gram of solution. 10 gram of solute is present in a 100 gram of solution. That means 10 gram of solute plus 90 gram of solvent are present. Clear? Numericals. A solution contains 30 gram of a sugar dissolved in 370 gram of water. Calculate the concentration of this solution. Here, mass of solute is given to you and mass of solvent is given to you. What is given to you? Mass of solute and mass of solvent. Now, what is the formula? Formula of concentration of solution is equal to mass of solute upon mass of solution into 100. Mass of solute upon mass of solution into 100. Now, one question comes in your mind. How you will find mass of solution? How you will find mass of solution? So, mass of solution is equal to mass of solute plus mass of solvent. Mass of solute plus mass of solute plus mass of solvent is equal to mass of solution. So, first what you will do? First what you will do? You will find mass of solution. The mass of solution is 30 plus 370 gram. That means 400 gram. Here your mass of solution is 400 gram. Clear? So just put the value. Mass of solute is 30 and mass of solution is 400 into 100. 0 cancel, 0 cancel, 0 cancel, 0 cancel. 330 upon 4. So if you will divide, you will get 7.5%. What you will get? You will get 7.5%. So this is your answer. Shall we go ahead? In next question, if 110 gram of copper sulfate is present in 550 gram of solution, if 110 gram of copper sulfate is present in 550 gram of solution, calculate the concentration of solution. See, in this question, no need to find concentration, mass of solution. Why? Because in previous question, mass of solute is given to you and mass of solvent is given to you. and in this question directly mass of solution is given to you. Clear? That's why in previous question you will find first mass of solution and then concentration of solution, and in this question no need to find mass of solution because it is given to you. What you have to do, you have to just put the value and you will get the answer. Clear? So here mass of solute is 110 gram and mass of solution is 550 gram. So 110 upon 550 into 100. 0 से 0 cancel. 2s are 11 5 this is 11s are 11 ones are 11 tens are 10 into 2 20%. So 20% is your answer. Clear? Shall we go ahead? Now if if your solute is present in a liquid form, your solute is also in a liquid form and your solvent is also in a liquid form, then how you will write a definition of concentration of a solution? See, in this, if the solution is liquid solute dissolved in a liquid solvent, then we will usually consider the volume percentage of solute in determining the concentration of solution, Clear? So, in the case of liquid solute dissolved in a liquid solvent, the concentration of a solution is defined as the volume of solute in milliliters present in 100 ml of a solution. That means if we are saying 20% solution of alcohol, means that 20% of alcohol present in 100 ml of a solution. Clear? Now let us do some numericals based on this. A solute contains 50 ml of alcohol with 150 ml of water. You have to calculate the concentration of a solution. Here, first you have to find volume of solution because volume of solution is not given to you. So 50 plus 150 this is 200. So your volume of solution is 200. Now you will put the answer. You will put the value. Volume of solute is 50 upon 200 into 100. 0, 0, 0, 0, 2 upon 50. 2 ones are 2, 225. Answer is 25%. Clear? Second question. If 2 ml of acetone is present in 45 ml of aqueous solution, here also you do no need to find volume of solution because it is given to you. Just put the value. 2 upon 45 into 100. 200 upon answer will 4.4%. Clear? And our next topic is saturated and unsaturated solution. Saturated is unsaturated solution. Let us start with unsaturated solution. What do you mean by unsaturated solution? A solution in which more quantity of solute can be dissolved. A solution in which more quantity of solute can be dissolved without raising its temperature is known as unsaturated solution. What are unsaturated solution? A solution in which more quantity of solute can be dissolved. Clear? Without raising its temperature. For example, if you will take a glass of water, this activity you can do at your home also. It is very easy. What you will do, you will take a glass of water. In the glass of water, you will dissolve 1 tablespoon of sugar. After that, you will take 1 more spoon of sugar and you will start dissolving. It will dissolve. So that means if you will in that time, if you added 1 spoon of solution, in that case your solution is unsaturated because there are more capacity to dissolve sugar without raising its temperature. So जब तक आप किसी भी solution में solute को dissolve कर सकते हैं, बिना टेम्परेचर रेस किए. In that type of solution is known as unsaturated solution. Clear? For example, if you will take a glass and salt, and you are dissolving salt, and that glass are capacity to dissolve more and more salt without raising its temperature, that means that solution is unsaturated. Clear? So actually the unsaturated solution contain less amount of solute than the maximum amount of solute. That's why that unsaturated solution are having capacity to dissolve more solute. Clear? A solution is in which you can't dissolve more solute. A solution in which you can't dissolve more solute, that type of solution is known as saturated solution. That type of solution is known as saturated solution. For example, if in an aqua salt solution no more salt can be dissolved at that temperature, in that case that solution is your saturated solution. That means maximum amount of solute which can be dissolved in that temperature is already done. Clear? So what is the difference between saturated and unsaturated solution? In saturated solution we can dissolve more and more amount of solution in unsaturated solution. In saturated solution, that solution have no more capacity to dissolve more solute. Clear? Now our next topic is effect of heating and cooling on saturated solution. What is our next topic? Our next topic is effect of heating and cooling on saturated solution. If a saturated solution at a particular temperature is heated to higher temperature, if you will raise the temperature of saturated solution, it will become unsaturated solution. Clear? That means if you will raise the temperature, the solubility of that solution will increase. This is why, because solute increase on heating. The solubility of solute increase on heating, and more solute can be dissolved on raising the temperature of the solution. So saturated solution available at a particular, if you will low down the temperature, what will happen? Yes, that solute which you have dissolved after raising the temperature will come out in the form of crystal. They will come out in the form of crystal. So if with this we can say that if we will increase the temperature or if we will raise the temperature, the solubility of solute will increase in the solution. The solubility of a solute will increase in the solution, and if you will decrease, the solubility will decrease. If you will decrease the temperature or if you will cool the temperature, what will happen? Your solubility of solute will decrease. I am reading this slide once more. Please listen carefully. If a saturated solution at a particular temperature is heated to a higher temperature, then it's become unsaturated. This is because the solubility of a solute increase on heating, and here more will come. More of solute can be dissolved on raising the temperature the solution. Now saturated solution available at a particular temperature is cooled to a lower temperature. What will happen? It will that solute will come in the form of crystal. Clear? So this is because the solubility of solute in the solution decreases on cooling. So with this slide we can say that, with this information we can say that on increasing the temperature, the solubility will increase, and if you will decrease the temperature, the solubility will decrease. Clear? Shall we go ahead? Now our next topic is solubility. What is our next topic? Our next topic is solubility. Now our next topic is solubility. So the maximum amount of solute which can be dissolved in 100 grams of solvent at a particular temperature at a specified temperature is known as the solubility of that solute in that solvent. Here the definition: the maximum amount of solute which can be dissolved in 100 grams of solvent at a specified temperature. At a specified temperature is known as the solubility of that solute in that solvent. Clear? If the solvent is water, then we can define solubility as follows: the maximum amount of solute which can be dissolved in 100 grams of water at a given temperature is the solubility of that solute in water at that temperature. I am reading this slide once more. Listen carefully. The maximum amount of solute which can be dissolved in 100 grams of solvent at a specified temperature is known as the solubility of that solute in that solvent. If the solvent is water, then we can define solubility as follows: the maximum amount of solute which can be dissolved in 100 grams of water at a given temperature is the solubility of that solute in water at that temperature. It is clear to you? Now, example: a maximum of 32 gram of potassium nitrate can be dissolved in 100 gram of water at 20 degrees Celsius. Therefore, the solubility of potassium nitrate is 32 gram at 20 degrees Celsius. Clear? 20 degrees Celsius, at this temperature, how much amount of potassium nitrate can be dissolved? 32 gram. So, what its solubility? Its solubility is 32 gram at 20 degrees Celsius. If you will increase the temperature, it is also increase, and if you will decrease the temperature, it will also decrease. Second one is a maximum of 36 gram of sodium chloride. Sodium chloride is your common salt which you are using at your home. Can be dissolved in 100 grams of water at 20 degrees Celsius. 20 degrees Celsius. So 36 gram, here 36 will come. 36 gram of is a solubility of sodium chloride at what temperature? At 20 degrees Celsius. Clear? So with this, I think solubility is clear to you. Solubility is the amount of solute which is dissolved at a specified temperature in the solvent. That is known as the solubility of that solute in that solvent. Clear? Now see, numerical: 12 gram of potassium sulfate dissolved in 75 gram of water at 60 degrees Celsius. So what is the solubility of that? 75 gram में how much? 12 gram. So in 100 gram is equal to 12 upon 75 into 100. So how much? It is 16 gram will come. Clear? How much will come? 60 gram will come. The solubility of a solid in liquid solution increase on increasing the temperature and decrease on decreasing the temperature. This thing we have done in which? In saturated and unsaturated topic. What it says? It says that if you will increase the temperature, the solubility of solute will increase in the solvent, and if you will decrease the temperature, the solubility will decrease. Clear? Second, the solubility of a solid in liquid remains unaffected by change in pressure. If you will change the pressure, there will no change if your solute is solid. But if your solute is gas and liquid, then decrease on increasing the temperature and increase on decreasing the temperature. Clear? Now, our next topic. See, there are some changes during which no new substance are formed, and in some cases new substance are formed. Clear? So on the basis of this, we can classify changes into two groups. Number one, physical change, and number two, chemical change. Number one, physical change, and number two, chemical change. See what I told you. I told you if you want to change something, that in that two possibilities comes. In some cases, some new substance will form, and in some cases, no new substance will form. So on the basis of changes, your change can be defined into two parts. Number one, physical change, and number two, chemical change. Number one, physical change, and number two, chemical change. So what is physical change? Those change in which no new substance are formed. Those changes in which no new substance are formed are called physical change. Those changes in which no new substance are formed are called physical change. That means if there is no formation of new substance, in that case what type of changes are that? That are the physical changes. In physical changes, the substance involved do not change their identity. They will not change their identity. They can be easily returned to their original form by some physical process. That means that physical process can be easily reversed. Reverse means you can mix it, again you can separate it. Clear? So the changes in physical state, size, shape of the substance are physical changes. Some common example of physical changes are melting of ice. If you will melt ice and if you will again put that ice in freezer, what will happen? Then it will freeze again. So they all are the example of physical change. Boiling of water, condensation of steam, making a solution glowing, an electrical bulb. If you will switch off the light, light will switched off, and if you will again on, it will again start glowing, and if you will stop, if you will then again switch off, what will happen? It will again off. So which type of change it is? It is physical change. So in physical change, and there is no formation of new substance. So physical changes are those changes in which no new substance will form. Okay, no new substance will form, and what? Yes, no no new substance will form, and they will not lose their identity. They will not lose their identity, and they are reversed. They are reversed. Clear? That means you can come back to their original form. Next one is chemical change. Next one is chemical change. Those changes in which new substance are formed. Those changes in which new substance are formed are called chemical changes. Clear? In physical changes, no new substance will form, but in chemical changes, new substance will form. In a chemical changes, the substance involved, they change their identity. They change their identity, and they can get entirely new substance. They will convert it entirely into new substance. Clear? The new substance usually cannot be returned to their original form, and if they will not return to their original form, that means they are irreversible. That means they are irreversible. Some common example of chemical changes are burning of magnesium, burning of paper. If you will burn a paper, again you will get the paper? No. So which type of changes is this? This is your chemical change, because a new form will produced, new substance will produced. What? That is your ash. So ash is your chemical change. Clear? Some common example of chemical changes are burning of magnesium, burning of paper, rusting of iron. Clear? Ripening of fruits. If अगर आपके फ्रूट्स ख़राब हो जाते हैं, तो यू विल गेट इट बैक एज अ फ्रेश फ्रूट? नो, यू विल नॉट गेट इट बैक एज अ फ्रेश फ्रूट. सो दीज ऑल आर योर विच टाइप ऑफ एग्जाम्पल? येस, these all are your chemical change. Example of chemical change. I think with this, physical and chemical change is clear to you. Saturated and unsaturated is clear to you. Concentration of solution is clear to you. If you are having any doubt, you can text me, you can call me, and you can ask me. Thank you and have a nice day.